Hello, my name is Ralph Stahl. Welcome to my presentation on developing a theoretical orientation as a Christian counselor. To make it a little easier to remember, I've enlisted the help of a model. She wears two different hats, one as a carpenter, the other as a counselor. I will draw comparisons between these two occupations to help explain the importance of a solid worldview and a comprehensive theoretical orientation. Your worldview is kind of like a platform, scaffolding, or foundation that supports and explains your understanding of the world, people, God, and how they all relate to one another. It is critical to have a solid foundation. What Emily here is counting on is probably going to let her down. So, here's Emily, ready for work. Or is she? Her coveralls are twice her size, and her boots, she could probably get both feet into one of them. Theoretical orientations are like that too. You have to find one that fits. It must fit your personality, your beliefs, your style, and your preferences. If you try to be something that you are not, it usually doesn't work too well. Notice Emily's tool belt. She has a lot of tools ready to use. So many that it may be hard for her to work. Counseling is a lot the same. Focus wins out over trying a lot of things just to see if something will stick. There are many different theoretical orientations. Just like the tools Emily has to choose from, some counseling techniques overlap. Some are more effective than others, or may work better in one situation than another. Since a carpenter cannot afford to own every tool in the store, they get really handy and familiar with the ones they have. In the end, they accomplish just as much as if they had all the latest gadgets. Counseling is similar. You need to keep looking for new and better ways, but it is best to stick with tried and true methods that fit you rather than constantly chasing the latest fad. It is also important to know your limitations. Some more complex issues are best referred to a person with specialized expertise. When you want to hammer in a nail, not every tool serves as a good hammer. The same goes for counseling. One approach or technique might be great for certain things, but ineffective or even damaging in others. This looks like it may become a painful experience for someone. Sometimes in counseling, drastic problems require drastic interventions, such as in the case of suicidal clients or those who are harming minors. Just as driving a nail with a sledgehammer is not a good idea, our counseling interventions must match the severity of the problems our clients are dealing with. And finally, it's possible to have the right tool, but without proper training, you may be using it ineffectively. So, here's Emily with her counselor hat on, surveying a myriad of theoretical orientations, tools, assessments, and interventions that are available to a counselor. By using various assessment instruments, I was able to narrow down which theoretical orientations fit best with my worldview, past experiences, and firmly held beliefs. The foundational plank to my role as Christian counselor is the creation, fall, redemption, and restoration narrative of the Bible. This informs my biblical worldview. The two theories that fit best on me are object relations theory and individual psychology, also known as Adlerian therapy. To those main theories, I would add minor components of various other theories to round out my own customized personal theoretical orientation. In many ways, object relations theory is very similar to Adlerian therapy, which I will cover below. But some of the main distinctions are in the concept of internalization of relationships that object relations theory understands. Basically, what that means is that our early childhood relationships essentially become part of us, and we tend to relive those relationships out in our other relationships in our lives. And so some of the past problems tend to reoccur in our present relationships. Winnicott he was the one that basically said, oh, you need a good enough mother, and that he felt the mother was the most important early childhood relationship. I tend to differ, and I believe that it's the father that's the most important relationship. And again, that comes from my own personal experience, recognizing how big an impact my relationship with my father had on my own development. And I also look around me at my wife, various people that work for us, friends of mine, men from our church who are part of our men's Bible study, and almost without exception, every person I talk to, man or woman, when it comes right down to it, it's their relationship with their father that has had the most profound effect on their development of who they are as a person. Adlerian therapy is a balanced approach. It doesn't take extremes on either side of the equation. It recognizes the social and cultural context and how they affect a person's development of personality. And it also recognizes the freedom and responsibility that we have as people to choose how we act and behave. It also recognizes biological or hereditary aspects of our personality, and at the same time doesn't ignore the environmental factors, things that how we grow up, the environment we grow up in, or how the situation we find ourselves affects who we are. Basically, Adlerian therapy emphasizes the holistic side of a person. It understands the person as a complete unit, not just emphasizing one aspect or another, but recognizing the person as a whole. A few of the main techniques that Adlerian therapy uses include lifestyle assessment, birth order, early recollections, and the family of origin and how it impacts the development of personality. For me, I can relate very much with these concepts. As a farmer, as a Canadian living in the United States, as the son of a Dutch immigrant, I can see how I cannot be understood without considering my lifestyle and how farming affects who I am. Also, being the oldest son of a farmer has a huge impact on expectations that were placed on me and how that has affected my life. And also, going through the exercise of early recollections during role plays, I recognized how impactful those early recollections are and how well they explain some of my core issues and that still manifest themselves in my life today. And so all those things together can be wrapped up in the family of origin and how the family of origin has such a central place in our development of who we are today. At its most basic level, Adlerian therapy teaches that if you change the way you think, by extension your feelings will change and your actions will change as well. Adlerian therapy is very broad-based, and its techniques are also broad-based, and it often cherry-picks techniques from other theories. And that makes Adlerian therapy very adaptable to a wide variety of situations and a wide variety of people. It's very culturally adaptable, and these are the reasons why I like Adlerian therapy, because of its broad base and its ability to be adjusted and applied to a wide variety of situations. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the process and considerations I went through as I developed my own theoretical orientation as a Christian counselor.